Oh, they are filling up. The stars are coming in, and it's just awesome to start seeing some of the names and faces. Lee Steinberg was here. He's going to join me in a little bit. All the big names are in town. But you know what? I had to go out of town to get a name that is synonymous in the history of the NFL. And of course, if you know anything about the center position, this man joining me is one of the greatest centers of all time, and I can't wait, hopefully, to see him in Canton, where he deserves to be. A longtime Viking, went on to the Baltimore Ravens and actually won a Super Bowl in 2013. He is just a tremendous guy, man of the year, winning awards, and he gives back to the community. So, Matt Birk, thank you for joining us. It's great to see you from your car, but thanks for being a part of us today.
It's my pleasure. I'm joining, and then I'm going to coach a middle school basketball game. That's what my life consists of. Now, that's biggest game this week for me, a middle school basketball game.
Wow, that's so cool that you're now. How do you know so much about basketball, given that you're kind of an old football guy?
Oh, basketball was my favorite sport. I thought for sure I was destined for the NBA, but they didn't need any 6'4" centers, basketball centers. So then I went to Plan B, which was football.
And that worked out pretty well. You started out, but you're a Harvard man. So first off, you didn't get a scholarship to go to college to play football. You had some brains, right?
Well, some, but Harvard will lower the admission standards a little bit if you can play a little football. So I kind of snuck in there, and it was actually a great environment for me. I did enjoy school, and so the environment where it was, the school was pretty intense and the football was pretty intense. It was a great environment for me. I think if I'd have gone to a big time football school, I'd probably gotten worn out. So it was a good fit, and I was able to flourish there.
Well, living in Connecticut like I do, I know what that Harvard-Yale game is like, and I don't think that the Ivy League gets enough credit because, one, these guys are very smart and well off as far as their expectations for their career, but they're pretty good athletes that come out of there, and I don't think they get those opportunities for bowl games and NIT or NCAA tournaments, and you guys work just as hard as the other athletes.
Yeah, we do, and I always say, like, not everybody's fully developed 18 years old, and the guys that are, those are the guys that will play at Alabama and LSU, but other guys who get decent grades, they end up in the Ivy League and they keep working and develop and mature. And I mean, nowadays, every year there's 5, 6, 7, 8 guys from the Ivy League that are either getting drafted or signing free agent contracts. So the level of football has definitely gone up.
Well, it's great that you have stayed involved too with the league and things, and you've got a pretty cool thing coming up. I know people know about squares and all those kind of things, but you guys have a concept. You're mixing advertising and the Square Game and the Super Bowl, these 3 events coming together. So what is Search for Square One, this Super Bowl Squares game that you guys have got going?
Well, we started Super Squares last, and it's a modern twist in that old-fashioned Square game that everybody knows how to play, and most, when they say 100 million people, will be playing it on Super Bowl Sunday at their party. And we combine prediction and the square dynamics, so your numbers are always changing. It's a lot more fun than the old static, kind of boring game, to tell you the truth. And we did it last year. It was a great success. It was we had to set a Guinness Book of World Records for most players, a Squares game during the Super Bowl. Totally free. We don't spam anybody. We're not trying to get anybody to gamble. But this year we did it again, and we said, there's this Squares game. Where did it come from? And if you search the internet, there is literally no history about who started this game, where they started it, when it started. So we said let's kind of like do an outreach to the football community and ask them for their football Square stories, and hopefully somebody can kind of point us in the right direction to say, oh yeah, Super Bowl one, my grandpa owned a bar and drew up this board. We just want to curate some history around this American phenomenon that is going to be front and center on Sunday. And hopefully if you go to supersquares.com and share your story, and then please download the free Super Squares app and play. It's totally free. It's a blast, and we have the biggest prize pool of a free to play game. And like I say, it's totally free. It's all funded by our advertisers.
And hey, we are looking for the Abner double day of Super Squares, right?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Well, Matt, I know, a long time in the NFL, and, I'm so sorry that you went to so many Pro Bowls as a Viking, because you should have been continuing in the postseason. That's just me. That's my bitterness, and I'll live with it. Being a Vikings fan, it's a cross we have to bear. But you had that opportunity to actually get to Baltimore and play in the big game, and I just, for people out there that don't know what that experience is like, other than dealing with all the ticket requests and all that kind of stuff, what were your Super Bowl memories? What were some of the best ones?
Well, that week, I just kind of shut everything off. I wasn't on social media then. The world was a little different 9 years ago, but didn't watch TV. Just kind of wanted to be immersed in the game plan. When it was practice or meeting time, I was doing that. And when I was just listening to music or maybe hanging out with my family. Just trying to just make everything sort of quiet. And I just wanted to make sure that when I went out there that I played as best as I possibly could for my team and for myself, because I spent 15 years in the NFL and never been to that game, and didn't want to have any regrets. So the game itself is kind of a blur. I don't remember much from it, but I vividly remember afterwards, family running down on the field, confetti, the pictures, everything after that. And, that's obviously what makes it special, because you don't have a lot of days like that, in life, where it's like you're looking on with the people you love the most and you say, hey, we just won a world championship. This is pretty cool. So that was, obviously great, and just feel so grateful and blessed to have had that opportunity in my career.
Well, it's awesome that you've taken some time to join us. And like I said, I really, I'm waiting for you to join Randall McDaniel as an offensive lineman.
Wow.
What helmet would you decide to go with? Is that, does it mean more for a Super Bowl win, or all that time you spent with those people in Minnesota?
Yeah, it's hard to say. For the Football Hall of Fame, you don't have to pick. It's not like baseball. But I was born in Minnesota. I got to play here for 11 years. I live back in Minnesota. Like I tell everybody, I've been a Viking fan my whole life except for 4 years. The 4 years I played in Baltimore. So I know what the pain is like for Vikings fans. We're always like, man, just wait till next year. That's our motto. And one of these
and that's
years
what the
they'll
Twins
get
say,
done.
and that's what the Timberwolves say, and that's what the Gophers say.
No,
it's like
no, Timberwolves, we never say that about the Timberwolves. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. There's something about that struggle. Like, we're Minnesotans. We live in the Arctic, and we mind pain. It's sort of part of our identity.
Well, I'm glad you took a little time for us to, share your story, but sharing us this again. How can they gamble and find out how to win all this money? Plus, tell their own stories about Super Squares.
Hey, no gambling, totally free. All you pay is attention. It's you can download the free Super Squares app, make 3 predictions on the game, and off you go. And if you have a great square that you want to share with us, please go to supersquares.com and let us know.
All right, Matt, good luck getting to your destination and coaching those kids. What are you working on today? 3-pointers, defense? What do you got going?
These are middle school boys. I just hope they all remembered their shorts. That would be a plus. That'd be a win.
Well, what I got to do is send you a pair of these Pro Stance that we have. These are one of our sponsors, and we have the rubber ones that you can actually put down and have these kids learn to put foot placement and things like that. So I might have to send a pair. We don't give gold watches, but we could send you a pair of our Pro Stance to the indoor thing. It really is cool. And I work with disabled kids in baseball, and those foot placements is so important, because they step in and they start hitting a ball. And I know footwork, especially at that level, all they want to do is shoot a ball. They want to shoot 3-pointers, and they don't realize that defensive development. So that must be your biggest challenge. Everybody just wants to shoot. Nobody wants to pass. Nobody wants to play defense. Just shoot, right?
If they could make their layups, and I would take a pair of those, because I have no need for a gold watch. I have no use. I don't care about gold watch, but I do care about getting my guys to play defense.
All right. Well, Jimmy will hook me up a little bit later, and we'll get that stuff out to you, Matt. All right. Vikings legendary center. Oh, yeah, and a Ravens center, too. Man of the year, 6-time Pro Bowl champion Matt Birk joining us. And again, go to supersquare.com and let's help everybody and tell your stories. There's got to be somebody out there whose grandma, grandpa, Uncle Fester, I don't know who did it, but that story has to originate from somewhere. Matt Birk is working behind the scenes trying to get that going. So everybody, you see this, go out there, tell your story, and you might get selected. You might be seen on the website. You never know.
I appreciate it, man.
All right,
Have fun
Matt,
to be.
drive safe and just enjoy the rest of your week. Next time we'll see you hopefully in person once COVID and everything changes. And maybe the Vikings could be here next year in Arizona at my home state. I'd gladly be the welcoming committee for you guys to come down.
That would be the stars all lining up, right? Let's hope. Let's hope.
All right. Legendary center Matt Birk joining us. Thank you, Matt. This is Dave Stevens coming to you from Radio Row. The hits just keep coming along. Don't forget, we got more people coming up all week enjoying what we're doing. Ability Media, that's what it's all about. Opportunities and chances for folks with disabilities to just share their story. The kids are working on a big show tonight at Q30. You're going to want to see that. They're doing great stuff. They talked to the players today, so they're getting the full experience immersed right here in Los Angeles. I'm Dave Stevens. We'll be back in a little bit. I don't know who's coming or going, but we'll try to continue to entertain you for the rest of the day. So stay tuned.